I have a prediction. I predict tonight on DFF that we will learn about some of the worst predictions ever made. What do you know? I'm right! Tonight, worst predictions ever gets deep. That's right.
You could probably make this entire episode about Tim Pool. Literally, if I see Tim Pool predicting anything, I'm like, well, the opposite is going to happen.
Well, if people enjoy it, I will do it.
Because literally everything that motherfucker says. I mean, whatever. I don't have nothing against the motherfucker, but like everything he ever predicts, the opposite happens. He has like the worst.
Well, you know what? If there's a big pop and people say Tim Pool, and I see the comments and shit, I'll do it.
Okay.
If you want to make a video about a guy that makes predictions and is always right and people hate him for it, you should do a Jimmy Dore episode. Anyway, go ahead.
Oh, okay, right. You know what, Paul? You did.
I thought you were gonna go. I thought you were gonna go with
you.
I thought you were gonna go with yourself on that one, but okay.
Yeah, if it's the guy that always predicts shit, right? You know, especially about people like Joe Biden. You know, I mean, there's a guy named Paul Zigo. You can check him out. He's.
I thought it would trigger people more if I used Jimmy Dore.
You're right. Maybe you're right. Anyway, Scotty, go ahead.
Tell us about
this. What is this? What am I seeing?
The Decca tapes, TJ.
The Decca tapes?
Here's a bad prediction. Beatles are going to go nowhere. How about not signing the Beatles, TJ?
Beatles.
So if you're a Beatles fan, all right, I think you guys.
I've been in this business 15 years. I don't see it. I don't fucking see it.
You guys like the Beatles, huh? Or you don't give a shit about the Beatles?
I mean, I like the Beatles, all right? Whatever.
Sure,
I mean,
they
ain't my favorite band or nothing, but they got some. I mean, obviously, they're legendary and shit.
So this is a big, if you're a Beatles fan, it's a pretty famous thing. They went to an audition at Decca Records, which took place in London on New Year's Day in 1962. First day of the year. Fresh start. The session followed the label's A&R representative, Mike Smith, and I looked that up. It's artist and repertoire. They're basically talent scouts. So I didn't actually know that. You guys probably did. More educated. So this guy, Mike Smith, he attends a Cavern performance on December 13th, 1961. The Beatles' performance that night hadn't been strong enough to secure them a record deal, but the label was willing to offer them a session in their studios in London. So 1962, the band by that time, they had a strong local following, but they had not, of course, become the Beatles as we know it. They're one of the most famous rock bands in the world. But nonetheless, Decca's like, we want to hear you. Come audition for us. So on that day, apparently there's a snowstorm. So they had to drive from Liverpool to London. I don't know how far that is. British people, you guys know. But they had to battle a snowstorm. The next day, they set up shop in Decca Studios and cranked out 15 tracks in a few hours, which to me, that kind of blew my mind. It's like, damn, they had to play 15 fucking tracks. I think most bands are struggling to play a fucking couple now. People are more hardworking back then. I don't know why.
People are better back in the past.
People back in the past were just better.
People in the past better than people now.
The songs reflected, basically at the time, I guess what you did for these things, a mixture of rock, R&B, rocked up standards, and originals.
Wow.
So go to the next image, TJ. His name is Dickie Rowe.
This dude looks like a dude named Dickie Rowe.
You know?
Or no, his name is Dick Rowe?
No, I call him Dickie Rowe.
Why you call him Dickie Rowe?
I don't know. I just, it feels like his name is Dickie to me.
Yeah,
but his name is Dick Rowe.
In fairness to you, he does look like a Dickie.
Dickie!
Looks like a dick.
Yeah, I mean, he's a dick, whatever. So Dickie Rowe, or Dick Rowe, whatever. I want to call him Dickie for some reason. The A&R man, agreed to try the group out, was unimpressed, famously telling manager Brian Epstein that guitar groups are on their way out. And so this is a quote from him, asked about 8 years later. I told Mike, and that's the guy, Mike Smith, who kind of like did the talent scouting, saw the Beatles play, and was like, "Oh yeah, let's talk to these guys here. Let's have a little audition." I told Mike he had to decide between them. It was up to him, the Beatles or Brian Poole and the Tremoles. I don't know why you would go for Brian Poole and the Tremoles, but he said they're both
Scotty,
good.
It's tremolos, Scotty.
Tremolos,
man.
Tremelos. I don't know.
I think that's right.
I don't know. I'm like I said, I'm not a smart man.
The fact that we're sitting here arguing about how to pronounce it kind of shows that it was the wrong decision.
Is it Tremoles? Is it Tremolo? No,
we gotta get, dude. Brian Poole. He's the one. He's the one. He's going right to the tippy top.
He said they're both good, but one's a local group and the other comes from Liverpool. We decided it was better to take the local group. We can work with them more easily and staying closer in touch, as they came from Denningham.
Ugh.
So just laziness.
That's
like,
a stupid.
Look, the Beatles all the way up there in Liverpool.
I mean, they're all the way in fucking Liverpool, mate. What we gonna do? We can't fucking.
Yeah.
It's just to manage someone a fucking hour's drive from here. I can't do it.
That sounds like a TJ decision. I've never heard one.
It does. Doesn't
they're an hour away. Just go with the local people. That's fine.
Yeah, both are pretty good. I think they both have equal potential. Brian Poole and the Tremolos gonna fucking.
So you go to the next image, please, TJ.
I don't wanna.
Go on.
Here you go.
And of course, this is a picture from the 1964, one of their Ed Sullivan performances, which and remember, this is just 2 years later, catapulted them into international stardom and fame. The Beatles have no future in show business. A Decca Records executive told the band's manager, Brian Epstein, in 1962. We don't like your boys' sound. Groups are out. 4-piece groups, guitars particularly, are finished.
They're done.
They're done. Over with.
Obviously, this was some kind of dumb fuck conventional wisdom at the time that was just begging to be proven wrong.
So this Dick Rowe guy kind of became famous as the guy who turned down the Beatles. Which, I mean, of course, you're going to be famous if you turn down the biggest rock band of all.
Guitar groups is finished. It's like they went. I mean, like, if they'd made that prediction in like the late 90s, they might have had a point. But they made it in the early 60s, hey, so
to Dick,
oops.
To Dickie or Dick Rowe's credit, he did sign the Rolling Stones on the recommendation of George Harrison. So he finally was able to listen then. It's like, look, come on, sign the Rolling Stones.
Yeah, dude, he sucked up his pride and did the right thing, you know.
He learned his lesson. He's like, all right, next giant fucking band that comes along, I won't miss it.
So they actually, there's a Beatles oral history anthology, and they basically asked Paul McCartney and John Lennon to reflect on it, and they said, this is McCartney, listening to the tapes, I can understand why we failed the Decca audition. So it's kind of saying like, yeah, we need to improve. We weren't that good, though there was some quite interesting and original things. And of course, John Lennon did not agree. I wouldn't have turned us down on that, he said. I think it sounded okay. I think Decca expected us to be all polished. We're just doing a demo. They should have seen our potential. Hey.
Gotta agree.
I like it. I gotta agree with John Lennon on that one.
He's probably right. I haven't heard the Decca tapes, so I guess I'd have to hear them for myself.
You can listen to them if you want to.
Oh yeah, because of course they've been released since then. Because it's like anything related to like a band like the Beatles or Elvis or something is gonna just fucking.
It was actually interesting because it was actually a very formative experience for them being turned down. They actually had another guy, I think his name was Pete Best, who was the drummer for the Beatles, and they were like, they basically realized he's garbage. You know, they got George Harrison in there, or whoever it was. Ringo Starr wasn't his drummer.
I don't know.
I mean, whatever.
You're too stupid, Scotty. You don't. You fucking. You
pull. It was one of those fucking Beatles.
You pull the Beatles, and you don't even know what the fuck is going on, Scotty.
Well, everyone knows John Lennon and Paul McCartney. The other ones, I don't. They were.
Who gives a shit? Who's this, Scotty? Who's this little man?
Who do you think it is, TJ?
Who's this? Tell me who this is, Scotty.
That's got to be fucking...
Is it Ben Shapiro? It kind of looks like Ben Shapiro a little.
It's Ben Shapiro.
That's got to be fucking Napoleon, dude.
That's right.
Ah.
Now, this is definitely a tale you can take with a pinch of Paul. So an apocryphal tale. But This is Napoleon on the viability of steam-powered boats.
If one thing is true, Scotty, it's that anything that seems apocryphal on our show, it's fucking true.
It's just true.
Anything that seems like it's just maybe that's a fucking tall tale. Nope. It's exactly how it happened.
Okay, so
whatever you're about to say,
TJ Asterisk, this is exactly what happened. He was there.
I'm not saying I was there, but I'm saying this is exactly what happened. This is what happened.
All right, TJ, you're an immortal vampire. You saw it go down.
Okay.
After Robert Fulton, the so-called inventor of the steam engine, mentioned his idea of steamship to Napoleon, the French emperor exclaimed, "What, sir? Would you make a ship sail against the wind and currents by lighting a bonfire under her deck? I pray you excuse me. I have no time to listen to such nonsense."
Yeah. I mean, Napoleon was a fucking dumbass.
He was a
what
fucking skeptic, dude. He didn't fucking believe it, dude.
I mean, it sounds pretty fucking unbelievable at the time.
That sounds like someone like, look, I've known a lot of Napoleons. That's exactly what Napoleon would have said.
Someone comes to you and they say, "Yeah, I got a ship that's powered on steam." Like, that sounds fucking ridiculous. It still sounds ridiculous today, even.
Yeah, that's it.
So fuck that.
I didn't believe.
Hey, sucks. 16 of the worst predictions ever made by the New York Times.
So number one, we have laptop computers.
Fake news.
It is fake news, but
I guess I could just read these a little close to me.
Yeah.
On the whole, people don't want to lug a computer with them to the beach or a train to while away hours they would rather spend reading the sports or business section of the newspaper. The real future of the laptop computer will remain in the specialized niche markets, because no matter how inexpensive the machines become and no matter how sophisticated their software, I still can't imagine the average user taking one along when going fishing.
Oops.
Yeah, they were totally right. We don't take these devices with us anywhere.
Yeah, who wants a portable computer? What a fucking only niche specialists. I mean, come on. I mean, I guess that like when it's like it's just a glorified abacus and shit. Maybe that made sense to them in 1985.
I mean, in this dude's defense, I don't want to take this computer to the beach with me.
No,
because that's like you're looking at that, you're like, yeah, but like you got to see the future potential of technology, right? Well, you got to realize that one day there's gonna be movies and shit on there.
Expect. The television, 1939.
The problem with the television is that people must sit and keep their eyes glued on a screen. The average American family hasn't time for it. Therefore, the showmen are convinced that for this reason, if for no other, television will never be a serious competitor of broadcasting. You fucking dumb shits.
Yeah, dude, Americans will never do that.
Yeah.
Not gonna happen, right? The average American watches or looks at the screen or devices, 3 or 4 hours a day at least.
The iPhone. Wow. Even by then they hadn't learned. Everyone's always asking me when Apple will come out with a cell phone. My answer is probably never. Oops. On whether airplanes were feasible in 1903. Hence, if it requires, say, 1,000 years to fit for easy flight a bird which started with rudimentary wings, or 10,000 for one started with no wings at all and had to sprout them ab initio, it might be assumed that the flying machine which we really fly might be evolved by the combined and continuous efforts of mathematicians and mechanicians from 1 million to 10 million years, provided, of course, we can meanwhile eliminate such little drawbacks and embarrassments as the existing relation between weight and strength in inorganic materials. Wow, that was a big old pretentious fucking sentence for being totally fucking wrong.
Perhaps in a million years.
Perhaps in a million years' time, man shall fly, but until then.
It just goes to show you, like,
hey, everyone, it's Thunderfoot 1903. What do you want?
Yep. It just
goes to show you it's impossible. It's just, hey, wow, this pretentious guy said it was impossible. I guess it is.
Yep.
And then it fucking wasn't. Sorry.
Just think of it, and just think now of what a time of like really fucking like smart sounding, self-assured, cocksure takes we live in. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah. Absolutely. I probably made quite a few of them myself.
Yep.
How about a battle rocket, 1936?
A rocket will never be able to leave the Earth's atmosphere.
Ooh.
Well,
Never shall the day come. Oops. About the dangers of driving automobiles at high speeds. I mean, there really are, but well, let's see. Let's see what they say. In 1904, the New York Times reported a debate in Paris between a brain specialist and a physician about the dangers of driving automobiles at high speeds because the brain can't keep up. It remains to be proved how fast the brain is capable of traveling, reads the article. If it cannot acquire an 8-mile-per-hour speed, then an auto running at the rate of 80 miles per hour is running without the guidance of the brain, and that the many disastrous results are not to be marveled at. Okay, yeah, our brain is not that slow and shitty. I mean, I guess if you were like an obstacle-laden fucking you know, then
People
maybe.
routinely drive 80 miles.
But like, you know, you're on a freeway or something, it's not that hard for your brain to keep up with 80 miles per hour.
And it almost seems like they're saying like they don't know if your brain is capable of traveling that fast in a sense.
Yeah, they're like,
like you're gonna be totally discombobulated.
My mind is breaking. No. It's gonna be like the fucking scene at the end of fucking 2001: A Space Odyssey, where everything just becomes a fucking acid trip.
Well, damn, that'd be cool. I think I'd drive 80 miles per hour a lot more.
On Picasso and Cubism.
A failed art format if there ever was one.
It is to be regretted that this unquestionably talented artist should now make his debut with a series of childish, not to say imbecile scribbles that are no interest either as independent works of art or as steps towards achieving the complete work. They have neither material beauty nor that spiritual significance, nor merit of any other sense.
Yeah.
damn.
Yeah, you nailed it. You got it.
Yeah, you got it spot on, dude. Now people pay like $200 million for the work. Yeah, you're right.
On Twitter, 2007. Whatever they said here was right or should have been, by the way. Using Twitter for literate communication is about as likely as firing up a CB radio and hearing some guy recite the Iliad. Whether the service can be made into a sustainable business is quite unknown. I'm skeptical. You were right about the first part.
Yep.
On Apple in 1996. Whether they stand alone or are acquired, Apple as we know it is cooked. It's so classic. It's so sad.
Yeah. Apple's unfortunately been out of business for years now.
They really called that the fall of Apple.
No,
man.
I get that. I mean, there's a point where like Microsoft invested like $100 million into Apple to keep Apple as like an actual competitor. So, I mean, from this.
Yeah, there was a point where they were like barely fucking holding on. So
Yeah.
I guess but don't dance on their grave too soon, you know? On Hitler, 1922. Several reliable, well-informed sources confirm the idea that Hitler's anti-Semitism was not so genuine or violent as it sounded, and that he was merely using anti-Semite propaganda as a bait to catch masses of followers and keep them aroused, enthusiastic, and in line for the time when his organization is perfected and sufficiently powerful to be employed effectively for political purposes.
Yeah, that doesn't sound nefarious at all.
You're just dabbling in it. You're just get people on his side.
If he's hooking them in with like the Jews are doing everything wrong, like if he gets into power, that's not gonna be reflected in his policies in any way.
This is basically them just being like,
as an anti-Semite, you know?
yeah, it's a LARPy claim, you guys. Oops. The iPod in 2001. It's a nice feature for Macintosh users, said PJ McNeely, a senior analyst for the Gartner G2, an e-commerce research group. But to the rest of us, the Windows world, it doesn't make any difference.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, the best-selling MP3 player ever.
The iPod was a total resounding
and obviously
flop.
the future inspiration for the iPhone.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Oh, Aerosmith. The other didn't go anywhere. Aerosmith, the opening act, played loud, derivative rock, distinguished only by Steve Tyler's fawning imitation of Mick Jagger.
Well, if he was an imitation, he did a good job.
I mean, you know, I see the point, but
yeah, but you know,
sometimes an imitation of Mick Jagger is all you need, you know?
On Wheel of Fortune, 1986. It is generally conceded that Wheel, entering its 4th year in syndication, can't go on as it has forever. But most industry observers maintain that while the show may be nearing its peak, its impact remains huge.
Yeah,
it's still around.
going.
Still going.
Still going.
On bagels. Wait, are you gonna fucking what?
Dude, this one fucking threw me for a loop. All the shit, dude. Like, because bagels are delicious.
Bagels, which are small, hard Jewish rolls with holes in the center, were sent to the Secretary of Agriculture with notes warning that this is what a loaf of bread will look like if the government permitted bakers to make further reductions in size. A bagel is a hole with a roll around it, consumer advocate Dr. Helen Harris informed officials. Another cut in the weight of bread in this bagel will go as a loaf at the present price of bread. Is the New York Times all right?
Dude, I think I actually pay more for the bagels I buy than the bread I buy.
Like, the New York Times, like, have they ever been right about anything? Just out of curiosity?
I don't even really think this is on the New York. This is just proof that when something new comes around, there's always going to be a significant chunk of human beings that go, "Bah! What is that? A roll with a hole?" They're going to find some fucking reason to be scared about it, you know?
On whether space travel was feasible in 1920. That rocket pioneer Robert Goddard does not know the relation of action to reaction and of the need to have something better than a vacuum against which to react. To say that would be absurd. Of course, he only seems to lack the knowledge ladled out daily in high schools. What a fucking idiot.
Wrong again.
He's a fool.
How about the future?
Imbecile. Idiot.
How about the future of cocaine?
He knows nothing. The future of cocaine?
Negro, here's so this is from 1914. Negro cocaine fiends, a new southern menace.
Oh, geez, no. The drug produces several other conditions that make the fiend a peculiarly dangerous criminal. One of these conditions is temporary immunity to shock, a resistance to knock down effects of fatal wounds. Seem to be produced in the cocaines. We're not allowed to say Negro now. I'm saying it. In the cocaine-sniffing Negro. Once the Negro has formed the habit, he is irreclaimable. The only method to keep him from taking the drug is by imprisoning him. For the thousands of Negroes who have not yet acquired the habit, but who will do so eventually if present conditions continue, the outlook is scarcely more hopeful.
Racist fear-mongering, great.
So this is why I can't just go to the store and buy some goddamn cocaine, because the New York Times fear-mongering with their racist bullshit.
The cocaine Negro fiends will roam the streets.
They're out there. They're gonna kill us all.
Bullets do not work. Knives do not work. You cannot keep yourself safe.
They can't be stopped. There's no way to protect yourself.
And they want but one thing: the white woman.
I mean, you got to admit, though, they were right. Only black people got into cocaine.
Yeah.
Well, obviously.
White people. Cocaine doesn't even have any effect on us. It's just like, we're just fine.
How about the prophet hen of Leeds?
The prophet hen of Leeds. Mary Bateman. What the fuck? What is this?
So,
that's one ugly bitch. I can tell you that much.
1806. And Mary Bateman was a lifelong scammer, by the way. So
yeah.
You can actually do more on her, but this is one of the tales from her life.
Well, I respect her hustle.
Yeah. So Mary Bateman turned her hand to apocalyptic prophecy. She began spreading the story of the prophet hen of Leeds, claiming that a chicken she owned was laying eggs inscribed with words, Christ is coming. People flocked to Mary for magical protection, and for the price of a penny, she promised they would be spared from the forthcoming end times.
Wow.
The truth was more banal. Mary had inscribed the words on the egg using vinegar, which etched the shells, before deftly popping them back into the hen's oviduct, where they would be freshly laid. A local doctor who spied on her discovered the deception, but Mary apparently wasn't punished. All in all, her fraudulent farm animal act would be the least of her crimes. So she did some more fucked up shit, which would eventually lead to her death and hanging.
Wow. But they didn't punish her for that one.
That one was like, come on, Mary. You know, you made people pay you a penny for your little.
Behold the prophet hen of Leeds.
There's always
Christ
scammers.
is coming. For a penny, you can be spared. It's like, what the fuck, man?
Pay me out of the shiny fatherling, and I promise you, you will be spared eternal damnation.
I love this, dude.
I know, dude. She's awesome.
Dude,
Dude,
Harold
Mary-
Camping. You guys probably know this guy.
Yeah. This is I've heard of this dude.
The end
Conspiracy
of the
theories.
world. The end of the world. So Harold Camping was an evangelist.
Someone brought on the nukes. Look.
Yeah, and president of Family Radio. The station reached, at one time, over 150 U.S. radio markets. Family Radio began operating in 1958, with Camping hosted Open Forum, a live call-in show beginning in 1961. Camping would make a number of end-of-the-world predictions, giving specific dates that kept moving. These dates would eventually include September 6, 1994, September 29th, 1994, October 2nd, 1994, March 31st, 1995, May 21st, 2011 for the rapture, and October 21st, 2011 for the actual destruction of the planet.
Wow. Dude, he made a lot of every time his 1994 one was fucking pushed back, he just pushed it to like a few months later. Like, you figure at some point he'd be like, all right, I need to push this motherfucking date back like a few years.
You have to, look, you have to give him credit. I mean, like, when he was wrong about the other times, he just kept pushing the date back. Like, oh, look, we looked in the Bible, the calculations were off. Actually, we got a video.
Do you remember when there was a shit ton of fucking pastors, preachers, all that bullshit that were like, year 2000, Christ coming back, year 2000.
Y2K and Christ coming. I've got the Bible. The world's gonna end any minute now.
He looks like he's showing off like a really fucking horrible booger or something. Like, look at that.
Dude, he looks high as a fucking kite.
He definitely does. I can't even get my eye. I can't even get my eyes that narrow.
This is the booger of prophecy, TJ. It tells of the end times. Got a little YouTube video with Harold.
Where is it then? All right, here we go.
Right
is this
there.
it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Billboards proclaiming imminent doomsday are popping up all over the U.S.
Cool.
Judgment Day is at hand, according to a Christian radio preacher in California.
Yep, right
If
there.
90-year-old Harold Camping's Bible-based calculations are correct, you shouldn't be making any plans past Saturday, May 21st.
On May 21, there's going to be a terrific earthquake, way, way greater than anything that the earth has ever experienced.
Shit.
And that'll be the beginning of Judgment Day.
Camping's followers are spreading the word. Some have quit jobs or school to prepare for the end. Camping believes that...
You dumb fucks.
You gotta love these people.
Dude, the dude had a fucking track record. He'd said it like 8 times already at this point.
It doesn't matter.
God, Christians are so fucking
But
stupid.
guys, the world's gonna end. It's gonna end
Any second now.
any second.
only a tiny percentage of humanity will be swept up to heaven on Saturday. As for the rest of us, well, I'll see you in hell.
That guy's cool.
Plan B. It
Not him,
is
but-
going to happen. You know, the Bible is a very factual book. It has given
Filled with
us
facts.
example after example of when God has predicted something, prophesied something
Yeah.
was going to happen. However,
The Bible said the
impossible it
Bible is
might
right.
look,
Right.
It always has happened.
Well, not this time, I guess. Maybe the Bible has a good track record. I don't really think it does, but maybe it does. But you certainly don't. Your track record fucking sucks because here we are, fucking 10 years later, world ain't ended. This motherfucker's got to be dead now, right?
He is.
Damn.
It was the twin billing of the May 21st, 2011, the rapture date, and October 21st, 2011, the end of the world date, that generated a vast amount of attention outside of Family Radio. The company had devised a huge campaign beginning in 2010 to publicize the prediction date. While many Christian groups rejected the campaign date, and others found it worthy of derision, some people took it very seriously, sold their belongings, or quit their jobs. When May 21st came and went without incident, Camping appeared on May 23rd to issue a revised prediction that the rapture and end of the world would both occur on October 21st. Camping soon retired after the world kept turning on October 21st and died in 2013. So unfortunately, he's no longer alive to make any more of these outlandish predictions.
I mean, that just means that the door is open for me to start doing this shit.
Yeah, it is. Over time, Family Radio has removed the original prediction episode and more or less scrubbed his programs and ceased the sale of his literature.
So they basically erased this dude because it's like, you're like, we don't want people digging into how fucking wrong we were about that. So, scrubby dubby dub.
Sorry.
Nah, oops. Like, what did they think was going to happen? Did they think the world was really going to fucking end? And they were going to be like, ha, ha, ha. Or were they just like, we're going to make some money for that year and it fucking changed. These motherfuckers think the world's ended.
Oh, dude, there's other videos of people there. And it's like, you just see people like, we've sold everything. Like, this is going to happen. Like, the world is going to end. There's no point. Like, if you're continuing on with your life, even filming us, talking to us, you're like, you're wasting your time. Like, that's kind of like the attitude. Like, there's a big seminar they all paid to go to. I mean, they're just this guy was just pumping these people for money. So clearly.
And he did it all the way till he withered away like an old mummy, too.
Yeah.
It worked over and over and over and over until he died. I love it, dude.
Hey, the scammer dies on top. And Harold Camping definitely did. He had his hustle from the 50s until the 2010s. So,
well, goddamn.
That's what I got for you guys.
All right. I guess that's it, everybody.
Deep bad fight. Deep bad fight.